Hi everyone. I had been meaning to get this up a little earlier. Life got a little overwhelming the last couple of days, but I wanted to give you a bit of a overview on some possibilities you might consider, whether it's for part four or future work, on helping students achieve standards that they're just not making. And I want to kind of phrase this a little differently. Remediation is part of our work. Sometimes students just don't get what we're trying to do, and we always go back and ask ask if anyone needs help. We answer questions. We remediate all the time just by answering a child's question. There are times, though, when, especially in a standards-based world, when remediation might happen on an individual basis, that maybe not everyone needs a lesson in commas. Maybe only a couple kids do. And maybe sometimes only one or two students need to be retaught something. Sometimes the whole class needs things. On the other end of the spectrum, though, there are plenty of times when there are students in our classes who really don't need what we're currently teaching. They need the next level. They can already do what we think we're teaching them, and they need to move on and have opportunities to move ahead. So while a number of you are making those resources, and that is great, and that is a requirement for part three, is that you're making some resources, I wanted to point you to a couple other things that already exist that you might find helpful right now, even not as part of this project, but even as just a cool thing to do. So Sofiaorg has been around for a while, and they provide tutorials. They provide tutorials in college courses, things also at a younger age, college readiness things like test prep, but tutorials for things like English. I have used some of these with students who were English as a second language students, and it's a real range from composition, grammar, all kinds of things like that. They are, I don't know if a lot of people teach some of these things, but some can be very, very simple, some very complex. And so they are simply mini courses or mini tutorials. Now, they're often provided by participants, so you do have to preview them beforehand. You can't just look, you can't just give a student the link and say, go get it. But they are small instructional components made by members often that provide this one-on-one thing. FreeRice, if you haven't used with students, boy, it's great with young kids. I mean, grade 4 on up. They just need a computer access. I think you can do this with an iPod as well. And, it started off as one parent's attempt to help his child increase his vocabulary for SAT prep. But there are other subjects as well, from art history to chemistry, language. Of course, SAT test prep, which I have not even looked at. With 3 kids taking SATs in the next 2 years in my house, we'll probably be looking at that. I know my daughter was taking a German course last year, and she used the German component of this. There is a grammar component as well. And sometimes this can be incredibly helpful for those students who maybe don't need so much the extra help. They need the next place to go, the place where they can gain the next skill they have. Khan Academy has been around for a bit. If you don't know what it's about, go online and Google it. Khan Academy was started by a guy who was helping his cousins with math. These are video tutorials. And what is neat, while we're in math right now, this will come up for other subjects as well. What is neat is that a child can take these tutorials, do the exercises, they can do a pre-test, and they can track what they're doing and how far they're going. So this goes quite sophisticated math in the end, and there's a lot that can happen here. It's not just math, but look, we're talking third grade to calculus. There's science, economics, humanities. There are links with other organizations as well, and different kinds of things. So it's a real range. I found, incredibly, that Khan Academy, for me as a parent, was so helpful when my child was struggling with some algebra that, of course, like you, I haven't had for years. It was actually quadratics. I could take this quick tutorial, understand enough of what he was talking about to be able to help him. For most of you, this doesn't apply, but for some it does. For those students who are beyond, they're maxing out, they're looking for more opportunities. Udacity and Coursera are two free online, it's called a MOOC. It's a massively open online course where you are taking a college course. They're largely lecture driven. They're not, discussion driven as we are working. And there are, thousands of people within the course. But you have an opportunity to take things like an advanced literature course or math or programming. There's a great deal of other opportunities out there for this sort of thing. Okay, so it's really a range from, we're talking about remediating with some pretty basic tutorials, the be verb, to taking university level courses for some of our students. And some do that. I have a student now who is taking a Udacity course in audio engineering. So it's a real range. Anyway, I wanted to toss that out there. I hope things are going well. Of course, always be in touch, and we will see you in the course.